This is Transformers96 here. With another video, I'm going to be reviewing a Marvel Legends Spider-Man series Green Goblin. This is part of the Sandman Build-A-Figure wave. So this wave, at the moment, I only have two figures from it. I have Green Goblin as well as Miss Marvel. The others, I'm trying to get at a bit of a discount. I don't think it's going to be too hard to get any of these, so I'm not rushing to pick them up. However, I have noticed that Miss Marvel and Green Goblin seem to be the most popular, and therefore I bought them first. So as you can see, Sandman there as the Build-A-Figure. I am super stoked for that Sandman Build-A-Figure. I think that it's going to be quite fantastic, and just based on the head sculpts that Green Goblin brought of him, it seems to be that's going to be the case. So anyway, let's get on to the actual figure here. We have Green Goblin. This is, of course, Spider-Man's most iconic villain, and therefore it's a great figure to have and really needed. And it's amazing that it took like 6 or so waves of Spider-Man figures to get a Green Goblin figure, but as soon as they did Hobgoblin, it was quite clear they weren't just going to use that sculpt once and we would obviously get a Green Goblin, and in the very next wave that came true. So let's get talking about it. So this, of course, reuses the Hobgoblin mold. I will be comparing them quite a bit. Hobgoblin is from the Space Knight Venom Build-A-Figure wave. So the mold themselves is exactly the same. The body, legs, and arms are identical. Same hand positions, same form of gloves that they're wearing, same boots and everything. The head sculpts are obviously new, and then the bags are also the same as well. So they reuse most of the same parts. But, they should, so I don't mind that one bit, because they obviously should be the same mold. Going over the head sculpt, it is really nice. I'm quite a fan of the head sculpt that they chose to go with. As you can see, he does have a pointy nose and a bit of a longer chin, but they didn't go as extreme as they could have. I think that they could have made that chin and nose a bit longer, to be honest. However, I do like what they did with it. The eyes are very menacing. I do like that a lot. I wish that one eye was kind of like bigger than the other. I think that would have been kind of neat, like he's got one of his eyes squinted and one like fully opened. I think that would have been a really good Goblin pose. The ears themselves are very long. Love the way that they're like curved in. However, I wish that they were out a bit more, just because it looks like that they're so form-fitting to the actual head. It would have been nice if they were out a bit so that they're not just kind of like rounding off the head. The teeth look great, and the little tassels on that hood there hang really nicely, and they don't get in the way of posing because they're so flexible. And then the end of the hood there, love the way that it's flipping up. I think that's great. I was really hoping that they'd give us motion and with that hood, and they certainly did, so I'm very happy about that. The arms and legs have great detailing with all the scale work. It looks fantastic, and it is a pretty shiny green there. It's kind of like a metallic green, which I think looks really cool. The purple is pretty flat. It's just kind of like a flat purple everywhere. There's no extra paint that's been washed into it, which was my biggest issue with that Hobgoblin, is that the torso was just such a flat orange. However, that was because the hood and the cape had a really nice orange to them that had black washed into the hood and cape. So, it was quite a contrast to the absolutely flat orange on the torso. However, on this figure, there is no cape or anything that has that extra paint, so because of that, it doesn't look bad that the purple's flat. So I don't mind that at all, actually, which is quite nice. And then, of course, he has a belt and his little pouch there, which is sculpted really nicely, and it's kind of in a purplish, pinkish color scheme. As well as the pumpkin bomb. I think this is the first time we're getting like a classic pumpkin bomb colored-wise. We've received this pumpkin bomb with both Hobgoblins in the past. However, it's always been like a translucent one, which kind of sucked. So I'm very happy that we're getting a classic-looking pumpkin bomb that's orange, that has the eyes and the mouth painted green, and then has a fire painted green. That's a classic pumpkin bomb to me, so very happy we're finally getting one that has that correct paint scheme. He holds it nicely. I found that sometimes it's a bit hard to get him to hold it, but once he's holding it, he holds it pretty firmly, so that is nice. Would have been cool if there was like a peg and a hole situation so that you could like peg it into his hand so that he would hold it perfectly no matter what, but it's still okay. He comes with a glider. This is a completely different glider from Hobgoblin, at least I think. I actually haven't seen Hobgoblin's glider in a while, but I'm almost 100% sure it's a completely different glider. They certainly should have different gliders. As you can see, it is hollowed down here, but it's such a big accessory that that's fine. You know, I understand the need for a bit of cuts there. Would have been awesome to get some sort of flame accessory, or those like blasts that the Mark 46 came with. I think that with like a little peg would have been great. Unfortunately, we don't get anything like that, which is not like a big deal. It's just because we're obviously getting a full figure. He comes with an accessory already, and then we get a glider, and he comes with Build-A-Figure pieces. So I understand the need of not giving us any extra like boost from the glider. And then he doesn't like peg into it at all, but his feet just kind of fit right into the handles there, and his toes kind of are flipping up, so that's kind of what holds it together. Let me give you a decent shot of him on the glider. So as you can see, with a bit of a flight base, you can really achieve some very cool poses with him on the glider. I think that it looks fantastic, and it's just as a whole really great. The only thing I would have wished is that his torso could crunch a little bit further, just to get him really crouched on that glider, because the legs can really crouch nicely, but the torso can't, which is a shame, especially since the head can look up so far that even if he was crouched really far, he could still be looking straight. So that would have been really nice. However, he still has, you know, perfect amount of articulation to achieve very cool and very dynamic poses while on the glider. Speaking of articulation, let's get into that. So at the neck here, has a ball joint on a hinge. As you can see, he looks up an insanely far amount. So again, if this could crunch more, that would just be perfect, which is great. He can look down completely as well, and then side to side. He has a really, I also wanted to mention that his eyes are yellow and his teeth are yellow. So when you have like him very dimly lit, his eyes and teeth are like really well seen while everything else is kind of dim, which is really great for pictures, I must say. Very menacing, very cool. He has ball hinge shoulders, which can hinge up this far and of course swivel completely. He has swivel bicep, double hinge elbows, and then hinge swivel wrists, which is quite good. One thing I will say just on my copy is that based on this hinge here, it's kind of like bending to this side on this arm. So when his bicep is like straight to the camera, as you can see, the arm is going out this way, which is really odd, but it's not super noticeable. Like I bet nobody noticed that until I mentioned it here. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think it's very noticeable for most people. But when you are like trying to pose him, it's obviously noticeable when you're holding the figure. Then his ab crunch, like I said, can only do one crunch forward, which doesn't go nearly as much as I would have preferred, which is a shame. But he does crunch back quite far, which is nice, but the crunch forward is more important when you're trying to do glider poses. Then he has ball jointed thighs, which can go up quite far, as you can see, swivel thighs, double hinge knees, swivel at the boot, and then he does have a hinge swivel at the ankle, or sorry, hinge pivot at the ankle. So as a whole, his articulation is really good. It's standard Marvel Legends articulation, and for the most part, the range of all the joints is really spot on, except in the torso. It's the only place where more range is, of course, needed. So I would say that this is a fantastic figure. Really do like it quite a bit, and I think it complements the Hobgoblin from the previous wave perfectly. And of course, this is Spider-Man's iconic villain, and we have finally an iconic suit for him in the Marvel Legends series that, you know, Hasbro started in 2012 when they revived the Marvel Legends name. So very happy that we're finally getting him, even though it took quite a bit of time, and I hope that they continue to do more classic villains. I mean, you have Green Goblin, Jackal, Shocker, and then Sandman as a Build-A-Figure just in this wave. All of those, I would say, are pretty great villains, so I'm pretty happy with this wave so far, and hopefully it won't disappoint me. But this is a fantastic figure. Would highly recommend it to anybody, even if you're not building Sandman. I think that just the figure itself and the accessories that it comes with are certainly worth the price tag. So there you go, that's my video review of the Marvel Legends from the Sandman Build-A-Figure Wave Green Goblin figure. Oh, let me know what you guys think of the figure, and thanks so much for watching.